Hey everyone, welcome to the RotoGrinders Morning Grind Podcast. I'm your host, Stevietpfl. It's Thursday, it's May 25th. It's 2023. We have a 6-game main slate on FanDuel, 5 games on DraftKings. They did not include the Chicago-Detroit game. We're going to talk about the 6 games because it's only 6 games, and why not? Joined today by my friend Alex Sonty. Sonty, what's happening, my friend?
I don't want to know what's happening. I haven't checked FanDuel at all tonight, so I don't think it's going well, though, because I'm not getting home run alerts.
Yeah, I can tell you that I played 100% Senga on DraftKings, so I stopped watching baseball about an hour and a half ago.
I went with Sandy.
Okay, I like it. I have him a little bit as SP2s. I didn't play on FanDuel on the late slate. I played some on the early slate when I was doing a show with Dean, but focused more on DraftKings with the 3-entry max stuff on the main slate. So no chance, Richie, that we're doing both late and early. We're only doing the late games. We do have a live RotoGrinders free RotoGrinders live show for baseball at 11 o'clock if you want to check that out. But we usually focus on the main slates. And yeah, I mean, the early slates are kind of all over the place, usually with prize pools and stuff. So,
hey, Thursday come quickly. That's all I'm saying right now.
All right, let's get into it. We got White Sox at Tigers. Lucas Giolito, Alex Fideo facing off against each other, 8.5 total. White Sox are 140 favorites. Any interest here in Giolito on FanDuel only?
FanDuel only have a lot of interest depending on how the ownership comes in, because we've got 2 other pitchers kind of in the same price range that could just cannibalize ownership. So if it's somewhere flat between those 3 guys, then I'm probably not playing Giolito. But if it swarms toward Gilbert and Nola, then I will definitely have a lot of interest in Giolito.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get much better than facing Detroit. I know Giolito's kind of been, I think, all over the place this season is the best way to put it. But I think this is just one of those spots you're just going to have to trust in the talent. And, I mean, who's really beating you on this Detroit team? Riley Green's been hitting the ball well here recently. But, yeah, I mean, this is a team that rolls out a lineup typically with a 24% K rate and an ISO under 120, WOBA under 275. So, I think Giolito, even on FanDuel, great play. Wish he was on DraftKings. I really do. I wish this was included in the DraftKings slate because I think Giolito's in a fantastic spot. Fideo on the other side of this game, I mean, he doesn't typically pitch too deep into games. He has a little bit of upside. He's not my favorite play, especially because he's only on FanDuel. Like, if you're on DraftKings, maybe. But, again, 5.6 xFIP guy, 18% Ks, not a huge strikeout guy. What are your thoughts here on Fideo?
On DraftKings, I would have had a ton of interest in him because when you look at the matchups on this slate, there aren't really great matchups. There's Oakland and then Detroit, which is only FanDuel, and then there's Chicago. So, I mean, he would have been a cheap guy, but now he's cheap on FanDuel, but you don't really need the money on FanDuel to dumpster dive. A guy who doesn't get strikeouts, right? I mean, he's a good control pitcher, but he gives up a lot of home runs, and he doesn't strike anyone out.
Michael in chat said, where did Boston's offense go this week? They're on East Coast time. That's all. Dave said, what's up? What's up, Dave? What's up, Richie? Hope everyone's having a fantastic night on Wednesday night on YouTube. Again, we're always live on YouTube around 10 Eastern-ish. So make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications. That way you get the alert. Come hang out with us live on the show. Let's talk bats in this one. I mean, it's been tough to play the White Sox. I've been playing a lot of Sheets and Berger. I think both of these guys are kind of underrated hitters. I think this is a spot you could take shots. Fideo, bat against both sides, fly balls and hard contact to both sides. Not stacking them, but like if I'm building so on FanDuel, I typically will do like a 4-4 or a 4-2-2. If I'm building like a 4-2-2 type of lineup, I think I could end up on like 2 White Sox bats here.
You could do. I mean, the thing that sucks about Moncada is Moncada kind of sucks, but he can have big games. You want to use Berger, so that takes up your utility slot if you play Moncada. I mean, Robert's obviously a guy, if he does play, he's got a lot of power upside. And then Andrew Vaughn's got some power upside, but then he takes up first base slot. You know, it would be nice if, I'm just not saying this as a White Sox fan, but as a DFS player, it'd be nice if they had some power in the middle infield so we could, use up a slot there, but we don't.
All right, let's talk bats on Detroit. Anything here for the Pistons for you?
Oh, hey, Pistons.
Yeah, sorry.
That's cool. I don't think so. I really like Giolito in this one. He's not walking people this year. He's down to like 1.81 walks per nine. The power, he always gives up a little bit of power, so I guess you could, take a stab on Baez, take a stab on Riley Green, but I'd be looking more for one-offs there.
Making sure chat's paying attention. That's all. I did it on purpose. I'm just kidding. I messed up. It happens.
We can bring back NBA DFS. You want to?
No, I don't. I love
That's
baseball.
pretty good.
I love pitching for baseball has been rough recently, but I still love baseball. So
I'm with you.
All right, we got Baltimore at New York facing the Yankees. 9 total in this game. Yankees a 126 favorite. Schmidt and Gibson facing off against each other. Any interest here in Kyle Gibson?
In Yankee Stadium, absolutely not. He's been pretty good. He's had some good outings. I should probably clarify that. Kyle Gibson has had some good outings, but he's still Kyle Gibson. Like, the strikeouts really aren't there. He's got about 6.25 per nine this season so far. His walks are kind of fine. He's not giving up a ton of power, but I really like the way the Yankees line up. This isn't the Yankees lineup we were seeing in late April. It's not fully back to health with Giancarlo Stanton still off, but between Judge and Rizzo, and we'll get into the bats, and Torres is just killing it this year. I just don't trust it. Yankee Stadium's too good of a ballpark to hit.
Yeah, I mean, Torres he's not going to cover off baseball right now, so looks like a beach ball to him. So yeah, I mean, tough matchup. He's a little bit better against righties than he is against lefties. He's going to face a pretty right-handed heavy lineup, but I still don't think this is the spot I can play Kyle Gibson in Yankee Stadium. The other side of this one, Schmidt, 8,100, 26% Ks on the season, has really struggled with lefties. I think the one downside is this lineup can go very left-handed. Any interest in Schmidt?
No, because of what you said, that they will throw all the lefties at you if they have to, and they tend to succeed when they do it. So, I'm looking at let me see, I should probably scroll over here. Yeah, the Orioles are so much better against righties than they are against lefties. They don't really strike out that much, and Ryan Mountcastle can take anyone deep, especially in a ballpark like this. And Tanner's going to turn around to the left side. Cedric Mullins just puts up 50-point games like once a week. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I don't think this is a spot I want to play Schmidt. I have interest in Mullins, Rutschman, Santander, Frazier, of all people. I mean, he's definitely taken advantage of being in Yankee Stadium here in this series, but he's someone that's extremely cheap. So I don't mind Frazier. It's not someone that like you're super excited to play on an everyday basis. So, but yeah, Adam Frazier, 2,800, couple home runs in this series, or one home run and a double. I think he hit one that was really close to going out the other day. But he's hitting the ball really well here recently. So, I mean, Adam Frazier, of all people, I think is very interesting here today.
I think in Yankee Stadium, you can pretty much play everyone against Clark Schmidt. Not that he's like a gas can or anything, but he gave up a high barrel rate last year. It was something, it was like 9 or 10%. Didn't give up a lot of home runs. So one of those things was going to come down to earth, right? The barrel rate was either going to come down or the home runs were going to go up. And this season, the home runs have gone up quite a bit.
Yankees bats, yeah, I mean they're a stack that I like. I think Kyle Gibson is hittable. The Yankees have upside to break any slate. So on a 5-game slate on DraftKings, 6-game slate on FanDuel, I mean the Yankees definitely have to be up towards the top of the board.
And they're not really striking out. They're making a lot of contact. They can hit the ball hard. They've got guys at the top of the lineup who can stack. Do we really want to play Anthony Volpe if he's hitting 7th? Like, I mean, F it, why not? Kyle Gibson's going to give up 80% contact in a hitter's ballpark.
All right, cruising along here. We got Philadelphia at Atlanta. We got Nola and Dodd. Love when Dodd's on the hill. No total in this game because Dodd was kind of a late addition here. They didn't really announce the starter until about an hour or two ago. Nola first here. Any interest in Aaron Nola going up against Atlanta?
I have some, just because I think Logan Gilbert, and we'll just spoiler alert, Logan Gilbert is going to usurp so much ownership that I'm going to look somewhere And the first person I'm going to look to would be Nola because he's probably the most skilled pitcher on the slate. The Sierras, going back to last year, his Sierra is the best on the slate. His strikeouts are actually tops on the slate. His walks per nine, 1.41. We love that. He doesn't give up really many homers. So Nola can give up some stinkers, but at the same time, like he's still the most skilled pitcher on the slate. So why not?
I will say his splits have been a little drastic here. It's not the same Aaron Nola we've seen over the last few years. He struggled a little bit more. But I don't think that changes your process or thoughts here. He's still one of the most talented pitchers on the slate. I prefer Gilbert for what it's worth. If I was going to say, who do I like better out of these two? But I mean, you can definitely double barrel these guys today, and I don't hate it. And then honestly, they're both under 10K on DraftKings, so it's really not hard to double barrel them if you want to. Any interest in Dylan Dodd on the other side of this game?
Absolutely not.
Why not? He's Dylan Dodd, man.
So he showed some K stuff in the minors. He also showed some shaky control. He also showed that he'd give up like 8 homers in about 32 innings in AAA. So I just like the Phillies a lot. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Phillies lineup, what it's turning into right now. And I think they can take him deep. I mean, I'm looking at the bat right now for regular season, for like the rest of the season. They project him for 7.13 K per nine. No. 2.61 walks per nine. That's fine. 1.45 homers per nine. You want to take that against Philadelphia? It'd be my guess, but I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan Dodd, if he was a really good lefty, I could definitely see taking some shots because, like, Philadelphia is a team that has struggled with left-handed pitching this season. They will have low walk rates. They strike out a bunch. The power is kind of limited in this lineup right now against left-handed pitching. So if he was a good pitcher, and I don't even know, like, okay, I don't want to say he's not a good pitcher. He's very high up in the Atlanta organization. He's supposedly a really good command pitcher, and we just really didn't see that in his small stint earlier this season. And we really honestly haven't seen it too much in AAA this year either. So I worry about Dylan Dodd being Dylan Dodd more than I worry about the Philly lineup. So Philly bats, what are your thoughts here on Philadelphia?
I'm not scared of going lefty-lefty. So I mean, especially when you got Bryce Harper, he can hit. He can take anyone out of the park. I'm probably looking more at mini stacks than a full stack because I don't want to have 3 or 4 lefties against Dylan Dodd either. So yeah, it's more of a mini stack, and depending on ownership, if the ownership gets up there, which I'm not sure it will, but if it does, then I'll start full stacking.
Yeah, definitely one of those interesting slates, but I like the lefty call. Dodd hasn't really shown like big splits yet in the majors. He hasn't shown a big strikeout rate to either side. So bunch of fly balls in those 3 starts. So like a guy like Schwarber who strikes out or hits the ball really hard, I think he's in a great spot. Marsh is kind of the same way. And then you can look at Turner, Castellanos for sure. Bohm. Atlanta bats against Nola. I mean, I definitely want to respect Aaron Nola's talent, but if Atlanta is going to be low owned on this slate, it's a small slate. It's hard not to have interest in them here.
Yeah, whenever Atlanta, the Dodgers are low owned on a slate, you kind of have to have a piece of them if you're an MME player. And even if you're a single entry player, like you have to take some shots sometimes, especially on a small slate. On a small slate, when a great offense is facing a decent pitcher, you're getting the ownership discount. So sometimes you got to take that. I think we look at salary saving as like getting points per dollar more often than we look at the ownership discount, the ownership value that we can get.
Kicking off the new year with new gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered from the sun to the slopes with premium Polaroid sun shades, customizable snow goggles, and much more. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. Durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. That's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day 1, they told us they will send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. With Shady Rays, you can look good and feel good. To date, they have donated over 20 million meals to fight hunger with Feeding America. If you don't love them, exchange them for a new pair or return them free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays. Their team always has your back. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the new year. Go to shadyrays.com, use code RotoGrinders for 50% off 2 or more pairs of Polaroid sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades, rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. We got San Francisco. We got Milwaukee. We got no total. It's going to be an opener situation here for San Francisco. We have no idea who's pitching for Milwaukee today. I've looked everywhere. I couldn't find anything.
I haven't found it at all.
Yeah, so no idea who's pitching for the Brewers today. I don't know why, and I don't know if it's just because they don't know either. But yeah, I have no idea who's going to be throwing here for Milwaukee. So that's always fun night before to not know who's going to be pitching or not. So, but I mean, I think it was like Eric Lauer's turn in the rotation, and he's the one that got put on the 15-day DL the other day. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if this is just a straight up bullpen game. For Milwaukee. I mean, Tyson Miller got recalled. He could go out and throw a few innings. So I think it's going to be like a bullpen type of game for Milwaukee today, unless they announce somebody and call somebody up. But it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, no idea what we're doing there. And then on the other side of this game for San Francisco, we are going to have Scott Alexander start this game, probably throw 1, maybe 2 innings here. And then Logan Webb is going to kind of piggyback off of him, which is kind of weird to me because like Logan Webb has been starting. He's been throwing, 6+ innings. So yeah, really interesting situation. Small slate. Any interest in playing Logan Webb?
Can I just get on a soapbox for like 30 seconds here? I think this is really annoying. Not just as a DFS player, but just like in the game of baseball, you have a pitcher like Logan Webb who's a real damn major league starting pitcher, and you have him piggyback on an opener. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe I'm just an old fuddy-duddy, and I'll stop yelling at my cloud now. But, Logan Webb is kind of interesting. If you want to play him as a long reliever, he'll get lower ownership as a long reliever than he would starting the game because this is a Milwaukee team that strikes out a lot. And they wet the bed a lot. So Logan Webb's a real good pitcher. So I don't know. Why not? Short slate.
He's expensive is my only concern. And the win, like kind of weird how it works out when you're like a long reliever. But I don't know. I hope this is just like a weird thing that like they're like, oh, we told the reporters this, but it's really not going to be like a thing kind of thing. And like Webb starts and it's not a big issue. And then we can play some Logan Webb. At 10-6, I have a hard time playing him at the bullpen. But again, it's a 5-game slate on DraftKings. On FanDuel, I don't have to play him. I mean, I think there's with Giolito being on FanDuel, with Gilbert, with Nola, I don't think I have to touch him on FanDuel today.
I think if you're not playing Nola, you can play Webb. I wouldn't play Webb Nola, though.
All right, let's talk Bats, San Francisco. I did see a report. I was just looking through, and I did see a report, and I don't know. Hold on, I'm gonna try to find a higher source here, but I did see it could be Julio Teheran starting this game.
Oh, well then, is Jack Peterson coming off of the IL? Did he come off the IL?
I don't
because give me every single lefty they can find. I mean, I'm lefty. I'll get in that order.
Jock still that hand. The last report on him is he's still struggling to like grip the bat like fully.
Okay.
We haven't seen Julio Teheran pitch really since like 2019. We saw him a little bit in 2020 with the Angels, but we really haven't seen him much. So I don't know what he's going to do. But
I mean, Wade, Yaz. I'm trying to think of who I wouldn't play in the lineup. I mean, Sable, you got to play him. You got to play. I'd play Brandon Crawford.
It would be a fantastic spot for the Giants today. And like Milwaukee is a middle of the road bullpen this year. It's not like that high end top bullpen that we've been talking about for years. So I like the Giants stack if it's Julio Teheran. Again, I have no idea what this guy's been up to. I know he signed about 2 weeks ago with the Brewers. So yeah.
And it's a good point on the Brewers bullpen as a whole, because as a unit, I asked Derek Carty about a week or two ago who are the 5 worst bullpens in baseball, and he named the Brewers according to the bat. So it's projected to be pretty terrible for the rest of the season.
All right, here he goes. I mean, Julio Teheran. The Giants a lot in this scenario. If it is Teheran, like the Giants a lot. The Brewers. See, I don't want to play the Brewers against Logan Webb. I think this is a tough spot. And they're bad against lefties. So, like, if Alexander goes like 2 innings too, they're not great against lefties. I will say my boy Owen Miller's kind of been doing his thing this series, but I don't think this is the spot for these guys.
I think I'm on a full fade of the Brewers.
Yeah. All right. We got Mets and Cubs. Let me really quick pull up the weather page here. Another 16-mile-an-hour blowing dead center in from Wrigley type of game here today. 7 total. Pick'em game, Carrasco and Tyon. Definitely brings these two pitchers way more in play. Let's talk Carrasco first. He's 7K, 80 pitches last time out. He's just really struggled. Is it enough that the wind's blowing in for you to have interest in Carrasco, or is this still a guy you want to stay away from?
I want to stay away from him, but everyone has permission to play him. I mean, I'll tell you why I want to stay away from him. Let's see. Sierra, this season is terrible. His Sierra's almost 6. He's getting barely 5 Ks per inning. He is walking almost 5 per 9. He's walking almost 5 per 9. Barrel rate's 12.9%. There's just nothing good happening here.
Yeah, I mean, so if the wind was neutral in this game, these would be 2 of my favorite stacks on the slate. Tyon's been pitching terrible. Carrasco, his walk rate is almost as high as his strikeout rate. His xFIP 6.6. He's just been terrible this season. So I don't think I can play him. I wouldn't talk you off of him because of the wind. And he is kind of a fly ball guy, so like he should benefit from the wind being blowing in. But yeah, I mean, it's really tough to have interest in him here. And Tyon, at least Tyon offers a little bit more upside, I think. The problem with Tyon is you just can't get left-handed hitters out. Nimmo, Lindor, McNeil, Batty, Vogelbach. They have other guys in that, like, on the bench that they can play left-handed. Tyon's cheap. He might be the cheap play of the day if you're not wanting to take shots on like Dodd or Sears, but I don't think that's really saying too much today.
Yeah, barrels are high, homers are high, but with the winds blowing in, over 10 miles an hour, up to 15 at Wrigley, then that neutralizes the power prevention stuff. So at this point, you just want him to throw strikes, and that's where he's been up and down. He could walk 1 or 2 guys, he could walk 4 or 5 guys. That's really what you're gambling against, the walks. Otherwise, I mean, he could strike out 1 per inning and be fine.
So on Weather Edge on Wednesday's slate, the wind ended up at 17 mile an hour blowing in from left field. Negative 54.4% home runs in that game. So just to give you an idea of how much the wind affects that ballpark, I mean, everything really just down. So, yeah, I mean, bats in this game, I mean, it's hard to say it. The chase home runs here is tough because of the wind. But, man, it's really hard not to have some interest in Tyon because of just how much he struggled this year.
It is because the power numbers are way up for Tyon. I mean, we've got a 12.4 barrel rate, 1.69 homers per 9. You're playing maybe a mini stack to get 1 or 2 out of the park by the biggest power hitters that you can find on the Mets. And then who's that after Alonso? Because you need big power to defeat the wind.
Yeah, I mean, Alonso would be my favorite, but then like guys like Nimmo who can get the job done on the bases if he gets on base is someone I don't mind taking some shots on here. Marte. And like then you're getting like cheap pieces like Batty, who, I mean, a double or 2 at this price is not going to kill you. So Tyon's been bad, and like going to the other side too, like the Cubs bats here, like Carrasco's been one of the worst pitchers in baseball early starting in this year, so it's really hard not to have interest in some of these, bats like Morel. Like, how do you not play Morel against Carrasco today?
And if you're going with Morel, why not Wisdom? Why not Suzuki? I mean, these are guys with bigger power as a unit than the Mets. Like just of guys who are slug or strike out, And Carrasco isn't going to strike anyone out, so that only leaves one option.
And it's probably more secondary stacks because 5-man stacks with the wind blowing in so much here. But I will say, like, wind definitely changes ownership in a game like this. So like we could get low ownership against two bad pitchers. So maybe like secondary stacks here for me. Because we do have offenses today. We do have some bad pitching. We have very limited good pitching. So to try to get different with your good pitching is going to be tough. I think a lot of people are going to be playing Nola, Gilbert, Schmidt, Webb, and then on FanDuel, Giolito. So to get different is tough. But let's talk about this last game. Oakland at Seattle, 7.5 total. Mariners is 250 favorite. Sears and Gilbert, starting here with JP Sears. By default, might be one of the best cheap pitchers on the slate. I don't love it, but honestly, I don't hate it. It's hard to like say I'm going to play some JP Sears, but I've been stacking Seattle a lot in this series, and they just haven't done anything. So maybe I take some shots, but yeah, you don't feel good about it.
Maybe I'll change your mind here, Stevie. So since 2022, of pitchers with 100 innings on this slate, JP Sears has a 426 Sierra. It's last. He has a 10% barrel rate. It's second to last. He has a 1.44 homer per 9. It's last. Seattle's got a lot of power, and that bullpen is. Is that bullpen getting worked in this series? I haven't paid I've been stacking this thing. No, they haven't. That's kind of the problem.
What's the dude from? Is it Japan, Fujiyama or whatever? The guy that's
Fujinami, is it?
Yeah, he's been awful. And he threw like 2 or 3 like clean innings the other night when I had a stack inside the top 15 of a tournament. So
that guy walked 4 guys per 9 in Japan.
Yeah. He pitched really good the other night.
But anyway, I'm not touching Sears. I will double ace before I go Sears.
For what it's worth, I'm going to double ace as much as I can, but to give you an idea, like Waldichuk through 2 innings has 5 strikeouts against the Mariners tonight. And JP Sears, the last time he faced the team, put up 24 fantasy points. He has a 25% K rate this season. He has a 28.8% against righties. He is a reverse strikeout pitcher because he's really just a 2-pitch guy. He throws fastball, changeup. He mixes in the slider. Very, very, very very, very rare. And against lefties this year, he's thrown fastballs 95% of the time. So, we'll talk about the bats on the Seattle side too.
To your credit, Seattle does strike out a lot.
Yeah, that's what you're chasing here, right? You're chasing the 25% Ks. He's probably going to give up a run or two, and you're just saying, you know what? I'll eat the run or two. Give me 18 today, and hope that Nola struggles a little bit because Gilbert's not going to. He shouldn't. No. Let's talk Logan Gilbert. Top pitcher on the slate for me. 30.6% Ks, 3 xFIP. 5% walk rate, facing one of the worst offenses in baseball, high strikeouts. Love this spot for Gilbert today.
Yeah, he'll be the consensus #1 pitcher on the slate across the industry, and ownership is going to reflect it. Do we need to go into why he's the best play on the slate? Oakland's just terrible. Oakland's terrible at everything. They don't have much power. They strike out a little over average. The WRC plus is low, and Gilbert can get some strikeouts. He can throw some strikes. He has low power he has high power prevention. Everything just matches up here. If you're not playing Gilbert, it's to be contrarian to diversify your portfolio. But if you're playing single entry, you're probably playing Gilbert and diversifying with the bats.
Yeah, I might play him on all 3 teams I build, like my 3-entry max teams. He might be on all 3, and just eat it and see what happens. But
same here.
I just don't see pivots. Nola, sure. Atlanta's a tough offense, though. So, can I play 100% Nola? Probably not. Can I play 100% Gilbert against Oakland? Yep.
You know, and I want to say I would play. I usually play 3 to 5 lineups over on FanDuel, and would I play one Nola? Then I wonder, is 80% not enough Gilbert? you know, and at that point, I might have to play all 5 lineups Gilbert because he's going to usurp so much ownership.
If I was playing 5 lineups, I'm not telling you what to do, but if I was playing 5 lineups on FanDuel today, I'd probably have 3 Gilbert and 2 Giolito because I think Giolito has the ceiling on FanDuel to keep up with Gilbert at lower ownership. So Detroit's pretty bad too. But that's why I was saying, like, I really wish that Detroit game was on DraftKings today too, because I think that changes the whole slate really on how you're going to build your pitchers out. It gives you like 3 top end guys, and you're kind of deciding between the 2 or 4 top end really, because I mean we have to put Logan Webb in the conversation, and we know this is like an opener weird situation, but anyway, I have no interest in the Oakland bats. I'm not touching any of these guys today.
Not one.
As far as Seattle goes, again, I mean, this is a team that strikes out a lot, but they have a lot of power. So like Riley Hernandez has just been awful. The nicest way to put it is he's been awful at the plate recently. This team's really struggling against Waldichuk tonight, but yeah, I mean, Caballero is cheap. I don't mind taking shots on him. Pollock will be in the lineup. He's always hit left-handed pitching really well. Teoscar should hit lefty as well. But yeah, Suarez, Julio, Rodriguez. France might be out of the lineup again. As we were recording the podcast, last night's podcast, France got hit in the wrist like 30 minutes after the podcast was recorded, and I had a feeling he wasn't going to be in the lineup today. So dead in the wrist, like straight in the wrist. Instant pain. If you've ever been hit by a 97 mile an hour fastball, and it hit him right in the wrist. So even if France plays, I might take a day or two to let him show me some power before, because that looked like it hurt. But what are your thoughts on the Seattle bats?
Everyone you said, and there's also Cal Raleigh. You can't forget about him. And, I'm not afraid of Kelenic against a lefty. On Teoscar, you just have to keep gambling on the power. They're pricing him for us. They're giving us the discount. They're begging us to play him. So I'm just going to keep paying for the regression toward the mean. I don't know when it's going to come, but I do kind of like Ted France out of the lineup just because it puts someone else in the 2-hole, because it's kind of awkward to stack, and I didn't really like putting him at first base. Yeah, I mean, I'll play JP Crawford against JP Sears.
All right, let's play the morning grind game today, and then we'll get out of here. Under 8K to get 6 or more strikeouts. Slim pickings. Who do you got today?
I mean, I trashed him, but I would say Cal Gibson.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have to go JP Sears. 25% Ks, strikeouts in this lineup. He's gone over 6 strikeouts, at least 3 of the last 4 starts. So give me JP Sears. I don't love it. I might have him on one of my 3 teams, because I don't think I want to go 100% Nola. Don't love the idea of Webb doing the long relief thing, and I mean Schmidt's in a tough spot. So
You're talking me into 1 of 3.
Yeah, again, I don't love it. It's what we have in front of us today.
Yeah.
There we go. Seattle, Sam Haggerty with the double. All right, let's get some runs. All right, over 8K to score under 15. Who's your bust today?
Over 8K to. I thought. Oh, he is over 8K. Clark Schmidt.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback that. I don't think any of the other 3 guys go under 15. If I had to say anybody, it'd probably be Nola, because it's Atlanta.
Yeah.
Over 4K to hit a home run today. Who's going yard?
Julio Rodriguez.
I like it. I don't care about the weather. Give me Morel. He's hit home runs in 5 straight games. Why not? Keep it rolling.
You guys got big power.
Big power, man. Under 4K to get two hits. Who's a cheap bet that you like today?
I've been bouncing around on this one. I'm gonna go with Sable.
All right.
Against Tehran and whoever else they throw out there at him.
Yeah. I mean, the San Francisco Giants are a fantastic stack today.
I'm
Jose Caballero for Seattle. He's 2,700. You play him at shortstop or second base. He's had good numbers against left-handed pitching this year, so I'll take him to get 2 hits. Stack to score 6 or more runs today. Who do you got?
San Francisco.
Yeah, I love it. Gosh, man, this is just a spot where you have to get excited about playing a stack against Julio Teheran. Signed like 13 days ago. That's what I was just reading, like the release. He still has to pass his physical to start this game. So, I mean, but everything that I've read, I found some articles finally, but yeah, he has to pass a physical. Pending a physical, he starts in this game. So, who knows?
Wow.
I know.
My brother-in-law is a Brewers fan, and he can't really make fun of me as a White Sox fan right now. We're just kind of lying in wait.
I mean, it's what Lauer, Miley, Woodruff all got hurt.
Woodruff,
yeah. So
didn't Hauser start the other day?
He started on Wednesday.
He started on Wednesday. God.
So, my stack to score 6 or more runs today. Even with the wind blowing out, give me the Cubs today. Or wind blowing in, give me the Cubs today. I mean, Carrasco has just been absolute trash this year. So, might not be home runs, but I think they score 6 to 10 runs today.
It could be line drive city.
I mean, line drives work. So, Alex, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No. Good luck to everyone, and let's go on to Thursday. Maybe I'll check my FanDuel lineup, see what happened.
There you go. All right, that's going to wrap it up here for Thursday's podcast. I will not be here tomorrow, so I don't know if we'll have a YouTube show or not. I haven't asked if they're going to do a YouTube show or not, so I won't be here tomorrow. I'll be back Tuesday. So have a great weekend, everyone. The podcast will happen tomorrow. I just don't know if there'll be a YouTube stream or a YouTube stream on Monday. So podcast will be here Friday and Monday. I won't be. I'll see you all on Tuesday. Have a fantastic weekend. Good luck. We'll see you guys tomorrow.